Hello friends, this is Terry from Genkigamingtv. Good morning. Today we are talking about the Pokemon DLC, the Isle of Armor, with little than we have like a month left until the suspension is out. And we already know everything to the point of they gave us that trailer in March that basically had everything. Then they showed off a trailer showing a little bit more about Kofu and Urshifu and the Galar Gmax moves, which were kind of disappointing, but we're going to get into this a little bit more in deep dive. And there's a number of ways to really look at this. Right now, we just have the face value. Is this combination of DLC really worth $30? Like between Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra? Maybe. At least from my own perspective, it might be worth it, but not entirely. Because as of right now, this plot is just... it is basically set to unravel itself. Basically, what we know right now is we know about Mustard Sensei's dojo, our two new rivals, which are version exclusive, Avery for Shield, Clara for Sword, and we, the player character, get a Kofu. That Kofu can evolve into Urshifu at two different towers, the Single Strike Tower and the Rapid Strike. The only difference is Single Strike is fighting dark, Rapid Strike is water fighting. Or fighting water, I mean. So, that's the only real new Pokemon during the suspension. I know someone's just looking at me, but Galarian Slowpoke exists. Yeah, I know that. We've had Galarian Slowpoke since March. We'll be seeing Galarian Slowbro soon enough, and I'm fine with them keeping that a secret. I'm 100% fine with them doing that. We even know some of the returning Pokemon, but DLC is that weird situation for Game Freak. They can't just treat this like they would a remake of any other Pokemon game. Like, they can't treat it like an Ultra Sun and Moon or literally a Emerald, a Platinum, a Crystal. They can't treat this game that way because DLC, it falls into a little bit of a different area. It's kind of like a gray area where you're half expecting them to do a little bit more, which brings me to the point of talking about why there are two different versions of the same DLC. One for Sword, one for Shield. I was looking on the eShop earlier today, or yesterday, and I noticed that. And to me, it's like, why is there two versions of the same DLC? If there's only one version exclusive trainer that you have to deal with. It brought me to think that maybe there's two other version exclusive trainers, maybe for two of the other missing types, like flying and electric, flying and rock, or not flying and rock, but flying and ground, something, because we're missing what, 6 types, I think. We're not missing that many, but we're missing some. Enough that it might justify them doing things like this so that they can piecemeal these trainers to us that we see the outfits for whenever we go to the stadiums. So, if you think about that, and if you think about Game Freak being Game Freak, a lot of these returning Pokemon will be version gated. Basically meaning that you want your Kingdra, don't you? You want your Magnezone, don't you? You gotta go buy both Sword and Shield's version of the DLC to get it. Hee hee hee. I mean, they could do it like that. If they did, that would upset so many people. But this is Game Freak we're talking about, so something like this is possible. And I'm sorry if the hee 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 thing offended anyone. It's just it's frustrating to see that they might go that route. So, but that is definitely a thing they can do. But with how everything's set up now, with Pokebank being able to be connected to on your smartphone and on your Switch, and with the fact that people have like online friends, IRL friends, it shouldn't be hard to collect all of the Pokemon for your decks, maybe. But we're gonna ignore the whole Kofu or Shifu thing right now. Instead, we're gonna talk about the Galarian starters, Gigantamax forms. Their moves just ignore stuff like Storm Drain, Water Absorb, Flash Fire, Sap Sipper. That's all their moves do. I'm really hoping that with these moves ignoring stuff, that Gigantamax Blastoise and Venusaurs set up the other two pledge combos. Like Charizard's Gmax Wildfire sets up Fire and Grass Pledge together. And you can still set that up too. That's the ironic thing in this situation. That in doubles at least, you can Gmax Wildfire, then when your Wildfire, your Gmax ends, you can fire Oath into Grass Oak and set up the burning terrain on top of things. And not just have that effect go off via what is already going on. I know, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? So, Blastoise could be the Water and Fire Oath, and Venusaur can be the Water and Grass, which is like the movement field thing where you go faster and your opponents go slower because they're on swampy terrain, which would make for some interesting things in the meta, where you don't have to be afraid to switch out your Torkoal for doubles if you run Mega Venusaur or Gigantamax Venusaur. The only other new things I've seen is new clothing and new league cards. And we can see those in the trailers, and they're also confirmed in the trailers. But why make two separate versions of the DLC? That takes time. It kind of infers to me that we might get other Gigantamax forms and might get some other regional variants. I don't know about new Pokemon because Poipole and Nigangelo, or whatever its evolution is, because I didn't really play all that much of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So, you know where I'm coming from, where they just make 4 Ultra Beasts and they called it a day, and like new Totem Pokemon and new forms of the Legendaries. I don't think with DLC that they can do that and get away with it, but they've already made 5 new Legendaries based off of old Legendaries. The Galarian boards, which are based off of the Kanto boards. The new Regis, which are based off of the Hoenn Regis. And they have both Zarude and Calyrex. Calyrex for the Crown Tundra. Zarude because what even is this thing? Why does it even have to exist? My boy Shiftry will do more work than you do, Zarude. The Rogue Monkey Pokemon, Dark Grass with Leaf Guard. Why is this even a thing? And then you have Kofu, and then both Urshifu forms that have their own exclusive Gmax form, which I am completely okay with. We still don't know what the Gmax form attacks do, which you would figure is one of the final things that they would tell us before the expansion is really out. So, yeah, I've just been kind of theory crafting about this. As of right now, there's only one other Pokemon that evolves with King's Rock, Politoed. Could we see a Galarian Poliwag family line? That's literally the last thing I can really think of. There's other Pokemon that do deserve regional variants, like Stantler, Dunsparce, and Camelrupt, Sharpedo, like stuff that could really work for the Isle of Armor. Like both of those really would work because for Camelrupt, it's like a vastly different area for it. It could become water and ground and have water compact. For Sharpedo, it would even become a different type of shark. Because around the Isle of Man, there's a shark that basically dines on like algae or it's plankton and like on like sea vegetation of some sort, and if it eats fish it's like by accident. I can't remember what the shark's called, but I'm gonna look it up right now so we know. It might even just be called the Isle of Man. Okay, it's the Manx basking shark. So yeah, they do have options if they want it to do something a little bit different. But as of right now, we only know what we've seen. So I'm going to end the video right here. You guys have yourselves a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, and or evening. Bye bye.